Hey Tre'Mari, in this video I'm going to go over two of the problems that I went over with you, and I don't think you got the note down correctly, especially this part right here. I don't know where all this stuff, all these numbers. You gotta focus more on your writing a little bit, okay? And make sure you keep the operations. I mean, I can see the a square there, and then the plus 500, and it's supposed to be 576, and it's supposed to be 676. We did the math out together, and we also use a calculator to double check our work. So you gotta do better than this. You gotta write things down when we do it together, and use your calculator if you need to. And this problem is no way near done. We did them all together, and we gave you the answer. So I would like you to check out the test again. This is chapter 9 test again, and please go over them, because it's very important you know how to do these kind of problems, so that when you get to the high school, you'll be on the same page with everyone else. Okay. All right. So number 5 say find the missing length of the triangle, and this triangle is a right triangle. Okay, I'll say it again. This is a right triangle. So what we're going to do is we're going to use the Pythagorean theorems to find the missing side, and this is A. Okay, this side right here is the A that they're looking for. So the base is equal to 24, and the hypotenuse of this right triangle is equal to 26. So the Pythagorean theorems, remember we dig that up from your notebook. We gave it to you. It is A squared plus B squared equal to C squared. Okay, so I want you to pay attention closely to how I write things out, and compare to the way you write things. Okay, so that you know that why I'm not accepting this. Okay, now first of all, the A should not be an uppercase. The A should be a lowercase level. I know is to you it doesn't mean much, but it is very important that in math, the uppercase A means different things. Like for example, when you say uppercase A, is mean an angle, like an angle A. When you have a lowercase a, it means side A. Okay, so it's very, very important that we don't change from a lowercase a to an uppercase A just because it's easier to write the uppercase A. All right. Okay, so keep it a lowercase. All right. So A squared. Now remember, in this problem, they're looking for A. Okay, we're looking for A. So, but the Pythagorean theorem is A squared plus B squared equals C squared. So I'm going to go ahead and plug in the A squared, leave the A squared alone, because that's what we're looking for. And then the B in this problem is the base, or the second leg of this right triangle, and that's 24. Okay, so plug in the 24 for the B, and I'm going to square that number, and that's equal to C squared. And C is the hypotenuse of this right triangle, and that's going to give me 26, and I'm going to have to square the number. All right, so I'm not going to go ahead and do the long multiplication. I'll use the table since we did it together already. But 24 squared is going to give you 576. Okay. And then 26 squared is going to give me 676. Okay. And I'm still going to go ahead and bring down the A squared. And don't forget, it's A squared plus 576 equals 676. You see the difference between what you have and what I have right there. Okay. Now we still have to go solve for A. We haven't solved for A yet. Okay. If you remember, we did it all together, and we know that the answer was 10. But nothing you have on this paper showed to me that A is equal to 10. So I don't know. Based on this, I don't know whether you learn it or not, even after I did it together with you. So I need you to pay attention closely to what I'm doing next. So to solve for A squared in this problem, I have to get this A squared by itself. What that means is I have to use the inverse operation. You remember I gave you the example, like, your age plus your brother's age is equal to 17. And if you are 14, then your brother is 3 years old, because 3 plus 14 gives you 17, right? So the total age of you and your brother, your younger brother, is 17 years. So now if I want to get the A squared alone in this problem, I have to subtract 578 from both sides of the equation. Okay, remember I say both sides of the equation. Whatever you do to one side of the equation, you're going to do the same thing to the other side. And that right there is called inverse operation. Why am I doing the inverse operation? Is because I want to get the a squared by itself. I want to get the a squared alone. So what happened to 576 minus 576? This is gone. This cancel out. This becomes 0. Okay? This becomes 0. Now you can say, now you can bring down the a squared. So the a squared now is just by itself, because this has become 0. And a squared minus 0 is just a squared. Equal 676 minus 576 is going to give you 100. Okay. Now by now you know where the 10 come from. Okay, because it say a squared equal to 100. A squared equal to 100. Now to solve for a, I have to use the inverse operation. I have to undo the square. So to undo a square, you have to take the square root, right? Because a times a is a squared. So to undo, to get the a by itself, you have to take the square root. So the square root of a squared is just going to give me a. Well, again, whatever you do to one side of the equation, we're going to do the same thing to the other side. And the square root of 100 is going to give me 10. And that's how a is equal to 10 in this problem. All right, so I'd like you to go ahead and get rid of all this, and you write them in pencil, erase them all, and write down exactly what I have, step by steps, okay? And make sure that you know how to do this for me, because I'm gonna check on you next time when I see you, that I'm gonna have you show to me step by step, how did we get 10 for the answer? How do we get the side of this triangle is equal to 10, all right? All right, here is number 10. Okay, we spent about, I would say, if I remember correctly, we spent like over 30 minutes just to do this problem out with you. Okay, and nothing in here I see is actually make any sense at all. All right, 50 equal to 10. I'm not quite sure what does that mean. 50 equal to 10. Okay, so this is why it's so important. Like when you write things down, you have to make sure you know what you're writing. Like 50 equal 10, like where are these numbers coming from? Okay, so let's go back to the instruction and do one step at a time. It says construct a coordinate plane. Okay, so coordinate plane is mean you have to draw an x and a y axis. Okay, all right, so there's my y axis. Now remember, I told you I'm gonna draw my x axis about up here, not right. So I'm not going to put it right in the middle here, but I'm going to put it right up here. And the reason I think I explained to you, the reason I kind of put it up here is because I'm looking at my point A and point B. Point A is -0, -5. So it means the y is going to be -5. So it's going to go down here. And then point B is 4, 1. So the x is going to be up to 4. Go to the right 4 units. So this is why I placed my x-axis right further up instead of right in the middle. Okay, don't forget to always to put the x-axis, name of each of the axis, that's the horizontal, and the y-axis, which is the vertical. Okay, all right, so now let's go label them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. -1, -2, -3. Okay, 1, 2, -1, -2, -3, -4, -5, -6. You can go down a few more if you want to. So again, everything go to the right is positive, everything go to the left is negative, because this is the origin, which is 0, 0. This right here is the O. The O means the origin. And then everything that go up above from the origin is positive, and everything go down below the origin is the negative. Okay, so let's plot the point A first. 0, -5. 0, -5. What does that mean? That means x, the order pair, the first number is always the x, and the second number is the y. Now, if you happen to forget and you don't know which one's x and y, well, think of the alphabets. You know, the x goes x, y, z, w, x, y, and z. So the first number is always the x, and the second number is the y. Okay, so 0, comma, negative 5. So I'm going to go down, well, the x is 0, and then the y is negative 5. So I'm going to go down 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There you go. So there's my point A. Okay, now I know I see over here you put point A, and that's what we did together. So that's a good thing so far. And then point B is 4, comma, 1. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's the x. And the y go up 1. So 4, comma, 1 is right here. That's 4, comma, 1. So that's point B. Okay. Again, point A is 0, comma, negative 5. And point B is 4, comma, 1. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to connect these two dots. I'm going to connect these 2 points. Because they're asking me, the second part of this question is, they're asking me to find the distance between these 2 points. They're asking me to find the distance between point A and point B. Now there's a couple of different ways to find the distance between point A and point B. For now, since we did number 5, we're using the right triangle, using the Pythagorean theorems. I'll just to be quick, I also gonna use the same method that we did with number 5. Okay, so here I'm gonna go ahead and construct myself a right triangle right there. A right triangle may not look as perfect, okay, the way I want it, but there's my right triangle. Okay, how do I know it's a right triangle? Because you think about, this is my vertical line, this is my horizontal line. So where they intersect is going to form the 90 degrees. So this is a right triangle. Okay, so now they're looking for C. They're looking for the distance from A to B. And A to B is the hypotenuse of this right triangle, which is the C. Okay, all right, so based on this triangle, I can definitely go find C using the Pythagorean theorems, because the distance from here to here, the leg 1 is equal to 4. You can literally count it, 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 units. And the distance from here to here is 6. Remember, we start from 0, down 5, and then up 1. So the total of 6 units. So now all you can do is a squared plus b squared equal c squared. Okay, this is the b. This is the b. And a is equal to 4. So now I'm going to go ahead and take 4 squared plus 6 squared, that's the b, equal c squared. Okay, now for this problem, I'm using the same way that I did with number 5, but I don't have to use inverse operations in this problem, because the c is already by itself over this side of the equation. 4 squared is, again, we learn about square and square root. 4 squared is mean 4 times 4. 4 times 4 give me 16. Plus 6 squared is 36. 6 times 6 is 36 equals c squared. All right. 16 plus 36, 6 plus 6 is 2. Remain 1. 1 plus 3 is 4. 4 and 1 is 5. Or you can say 16 plus 36 gives you 52. So it's going to give you 52 equal to c squared. So now how do I find the square root of, how do I find c? To find c in this problem, same thing what I did with number 5, I have to take the square root. No, but except the number 5, you take the square root of a squared. This problem, I'm taking the square root of c squared. Now the square root of c squared is just going to give me c. All right, what's the square root of 52? Well, you can pull out a calculator and do that. But if you think about the square root of 49 is a perfect square. Square root of 49 gives you 7. And the square root of 64, 8 times 8 is 64. It's going to give me 8. So the square root of 52 is going to be between 7 and 8. Okay, between 7 and 8. Okay, so now to get the exact number, I think I gave you the answer already, but if you take the square root of 52 right there, it's give you 7.2. Okay, and really nicely say, that's it, that's all you have to say. C is equal to 7.2. Or you can actually simplify the square root of 52 if you want to. It's actually, you can break it down to 4 times 13. And then 4 is a perfect square. Okay, 4 times 13. The square root of 4 times 13. And the square root of 4 is 2 because 4 is a perfect square. So my final answer is 2 square root of 13. That's another way to write it. But in this problem, you don't have to simplify it because you can just use a calculator and the answer is 7.2.